We was young and we was dumb, but we had heart. So you were young and you were dumb, unintelligent. I mean, you might have not had wisdom, but I did kind of entertain the idea because you do dumb things when you're young. You get whether you have when your hormones are kicking in, or you just you have it's that they call it teenage angst, or teenage rebellion. But maybe just rebelling against the system to rebel. Maybe you just see the world different. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but the person I posted, and I made a video about him. It's Robert Scarupa. He's my cousin, like a really relative cousin. There's this picture of his soul or whatever in his chest, and he put that June 5th, 2020. He was young and we was dumb, but we had heart. That guy. When Tupac said it, yeah, I believe he has heart. I mean, he had some form of compassion. I mean, he had a soul. Not just he had a soul, he had a mind that worked, and it's not that he was just a good song maker. He had a style, he had a sense. He was a man's man actually. Uh, you know, but it's not so much about him and even the phrase. It's like people take that and they just put it on not just on Facebook, but they promote that in a certain degree. And people promote this stuff that I say to a certain degree, and I'm alive. It's like it's disturbing. Like, you don't really believe in that. You're not really like that. Like yeah, was Robert Scrupa young and dumb? Yeah, he still is. He was. It's not that he was. He still is. Did he have a heart? We mean like compassion, a soul and respect. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He never had. I remember Skorupa for me when I was like 5 years old. He was like 3. That's my earliest memory. He never had that. He never had that. In fact, not just he would instigate. He had a lot of aggression issues. He was very psychotic. He never really had a heart. He chased this one of our cousins with like a big hammer, like a I mean, I really think of like a Thor. I don't want to say Thor hammer, but it's just to like beat down Sledge's hammer. It wasn't even construction hammer. It was very rough and rugged. He was gonna just and he threw it at him. He was gonna hit him with it. I think he was just he wanted to kill and destroy. I remember Scrupo when he kicked. I think it was a female down the stairs, and he ran into his little house. And he just I mean his little house. Ran to where his mom was and stuff. That was normal for him. And Martha didn't say anything. She just covered it up. She just didn't want to know it or something. That's how he was. And that's what I think. Tupac and a lot of people mean we had heart. And he never had that. And I get how you could be young and just do a lot of dumb, stupid things because you're trying to learn this and that. But that's not an excuse that you will take that and you think you're just gonna portray that because someone else said it, especially in the song because that was in a song and you see that and you like perpetuate that amongst your little deviant little friends like when you guys are ridiculous chances are you wouldn't care anything about this guy was saying like on a spiritual level on a spiritual level even if not that you knew him personally because you was oh yeah I met Tupac. It's not about that. It's about what he stood for. Because honestly, if it could be a regular person, he didn't have geez, I don't know the celebrity status. His flamboyance, his looks, his popularity. Would you even care? Someone had said that we were young with it. Would you even care? You probably don't even care now. Unless you just perpetuating that because it sounds cool and and you have Tupac's picture and it's like wow he's into that kind of music. Another thing is group over there. I like Tupac. It's just they're really good songs. I'm not gonna get into how people think his music isn't fun. Like honestly, I could care about your teeth jewelry and your low level golden plaque. As a dentist in Old Bridge, you should probably see homie. She'll make it nice and golden for you. Probably rust like. I got treated like that too. But anyway, it's not about her or you. It's about Skorupa over there, like being pretentious, you know. And I'm not gonna get into, well, the man passed away and you take it. It doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter because like people are probably doing that when he was alive as well. You know, I've seen a lot of people do that. You know, they just take something like, take something like, for example, Nikola Tesla. You know, what he stood for, what he gonna create, and what the world would have looked like if people didn't violate him, just didn't suppress him for their own greed purposes. And another guy comes along, a multi-billionaire. He names the car Tesla. Right, it's an electric car. Nikolai always he thought about renewable energy, free energy, cheaper energy. He was a brilliant man, but he wanted to make the world better, not make a lot of money. Money. The thing is, like, I mean, should I really confront you on a personal level? You don't have heart, because a lot of people are just dumb. They're low level intelligence. And not just insecure, but they have no wisdom. No, they're very incompetent. Especially Skarupa over there, with his little side steps, around his house, like a. I mean, the guy bought uh, what you call it? Geez, I'm grasping for words, but anyway, it's not a towel. Speaking of dumb, right? No, I'm just grasping for words. They're pavers. They could be considered pavers, but they're like tiles and they're very thin. But he dug the steps first, and then obviously it wasn't the same size, so he didn't know what to do. And he just left it like that. He was confused, and it's like, well, I don't know. Why don't you, make the appropriate size, unless you want to cut the tile or the paver or whatever, right? To make it appropriate. But then you account for the upper part. It's like you're gonna leave the dirt there. What are you gonna do there? Are you gonna put cinder blocks like Nimic because it's cheaper? Oh, if you're trying to save money, I mean, I don't know. Why don't you just make a dirt hill? Because you're still dumb and you're very immature and young, picking on petty little things like Mario Tello said something to me and Mario Tello were making fun of you in like fifth grade, bro. You're gonna text message me that. What was Nimic over there telling me that like I never helped him? I mean, even if I didn't, like, would you really honestly say that? It's not just your classes. You're like very young, you're like childish in the mind. You're very mature. You're like Nimic and Scrupa there, like young, dumb, and they never had heart. And I don't know what they're doing to themselves, but I'm pretty sure the heart isn't actual biological heart isn't in the great state either. You know, there's a whole theory about heart and like well obviously you feel sad you pump less blood, right? But it's all through the mind. It's a part of the mind, compassion. There's a thing with the lungs when you feel like you did something wrong, you feel guilt, you feel stress and congested, feel anxiety. It is a biological thing. But like how many Scrupa over there, here, let me show Robuch picture, I mean, and I get it, you're on a lift to go, snowboarding, but it's like, again, you're dumb. You're dumb. Like, what is it, your first time? Because I remember in the early 2000s you were going in there. And it's like, what? So you're lying, or like, you just realized you were scared. Was it that cold? You were terrified. Look at the terrifying eyeballs. You just like you're shocked. You're like, oh, it's so high. It's like, what are you doing? You're still dumb, bro. I'm not gonna get into the phrase part of it that we were, we was. It's like you're still there, man. And I don't know what Pac said. Maybe he just said he made mistakes, this and that. Maybe he was talking about his people, how they, his crew, how maybe they did stuff like smoke stuff, assault stuff. Wasn't the smartest thing. And I mean, I could care less. I mean, not I could care less. Like, you do things like that just to get by this and that. But, it's about violating someone's a life or someone's meaning and someone's, what they stood for, and they were trying to put it on record and, not just entertain people, which it was, but, this person spoke his life, his soul through, with lyrics through a wire, through a microphone, and, this idiot over there puts it out there like it's him. You're not Nikola Tesla, you never will be, even though you have $1 billion, and you're not Tupac, even though you struggle.